All right. Hello, everyone. Come on in. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. My first time back. All right. I know y'all had a great time the last 2 weeks. Come on in. We're going to jump in and get started. All right. We got a full house tonight. Come on in, everyone. Right. Look at those names. Dwayne Johnson, I see you again. Barry, Dave, Rosalind. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday's Public Policy Talks. My name is Marquis Tate, president of Advancing Black Businesses. We are about to get started. About to get started. All right. We got let's see if we got the main man in here yet, Melvin Coleman. All right, I know he'll be coming in shortly. All right, y'all. It is 8:31. 8:31. We are about to get started, y'all. Been out for 2 weeks. Everybody, I'm back. I am back. All right, still got a few more in the waiting room. Get these admitted in. Come on in, everybody.
Good morning, Marquis.
Hey, good morning, Sylvester Ford, board member of Advancing Black Businesses. Good morning. Glad to be back. Any more board members out there you see? See any more board members?
Let me see.
All right. That's Calvin Maddox. He's out there. Good morning, Calvin, board member ABB. Now we got a host of chamber members in here. Got a lot of chamber members. Thank you for your support of Advancing Black Businesses chamber members. We are.
Deanna Harris is there.
Deanna, you're in. Deanna's going to be speaking today. Let me see. Y'all, you say you see Deanna. Going to be up in just a moment. Deanna.
Good morning.
There you are. All right. All right. The time is 8:32. The time is 8:32. We're almost underway.
Great morning, everyone. Great morning, Marquis. We missed you last week.
Good morning, Shirley. Good morning. I am back. All right, y'all, let's get started underway. First, I'll start off with I've been out for the past 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone, for your thoughts, your prayers, your emails, your texts over this last 2.5 weeks. Had definitely a setback in the family, but we are here. Thank you so much once again. Thanks, Melvin Coleman, for stepping in for ABB's Public Policy Talks. Looking forward to moving this conversation forward. Looking forward to moving the conversation forward. Raquel Hill, thank you so much for holding the fort up. I know we had Dr. Doma, Keela Taylor helping out in the front and in the back of these calls. So thanks everyone for all that support over the last 2 weeks. Really appreciate the love that you have all given me, from the ABC to the ABB to the ABCF, our foundation. Thank you so much. Chamber members, definitely appreciate your support over these last many weeks in this public policy talks. This is for you. This is for Black business owners and Black consumers. We want to have a voice when it comes to public policy, from the local, the state, and definitely, especially the federal level. We have some important elections actually coming up in the coming months. One is actually in November. The culmination of all elections is the presidential election. We're going to start to actually move forward and delve into that as the weeks come by. We're going to talk about some of the local elections also. We're going to talk about a lot when it comes to public policy. Actually, last week I was listening to a commentator on one of the national news shows. And one of the commentators said something very, very intriguing. And that was when you go out and vote for a particular candidate, you definitely, before you vote, you want to get those commitments. But that commentator said something that was very important that I haven't really thought about before. And that was something similar to, if that candidate is in office, and she was actually talking about the presidential election, if that candidate is an incumbent and is running for re-election, those demands that you asked for, man, y'all listen to this. She said they should be implementing those before the election. Do y'all hear me? Those demands that you actually demand for from that candidate, they should have already started that process to implement some of those demands, some of those commitments for you. You know, I've never really heard that before. I don't know if y'all have heard that before, but if an incumbent is running for re-election, they should already be implementing some of those demands for you and your community. Yeah, I want y'all to think about that as we move forward throughout this election season, because this is where we win as Black business owners. We win during the election season. I say we win during the election season because we have to get those commitments. We have to have an agenda. We have to actually put that forth in front of those candidates and get those commitments. But that person said, if they're already in office, they should be already moving forward with your agenda. So y'all think about that as we move forward. Behind the scenes, you have several organizations that are working on your behalf. One is the Advancing Black Businesses Foundation. Yes, we do have an Advancing Black Businesses Foundation. It's one of our newest organizations. We're pulling things together to that being the main fundraiser for our political advocacy work for the ABC. We have the Atlanta Black Chambers Foundation, which you have heard of before, is working tirelessly behind the scenes. It's led by Joyce Rhodes. Thank you, Joyce Rhodes. I know you're probably not on, but we actually talked over the last week or so. Thank you for your support. And Michael Hill is actually assisting Joyce Rhodes on that foundation side. So we got a lot of organizations that are working on behalf of you to help support your membership for Atlanta Black Chambers. But just moving forward, last week was the closeout of the state legislative session. We have our lobbyists for advancing Black businesses on, Deanna Harris, who has been working tirelessly for our organization over the last 3-4+ years. Thank you, Deanna, for your support. If you could just take a couple of moments, up to 5 minutes, maybe up to 8, to give us a recap or give us some of those talking points you want us to know about in that state legislative session that just ended. Come on, if you could come on the screen, please do so. But let's talk for a few minutes.
Well, I'm not gonna come on the screen because I got a little allergy problem and I probably look bad.
All right, Dan, understand this is definitely the allergy season.
Yeah, it's kicking my butt. But good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming in to chat with us a little bit. Again, I'm Deanna Harris. I work with Southern Capital Strategies. We are a lobbyist firm. One of my head managing partners is former Senator Jeff Mullis. So he's down at the Capitol with us lobbying now. He used to be the rules chairman in the Senate of Georgia, the state Senate, for about 10 years. And before that, he was the transportation chairman. So he had been a senator for 22 years, retired, and now he's lobbying with us. So as everybody knows, Sine Die was about 2 Thursdays ago, March 28th. It was a quiet morning. I know some people got down there early. I didn't get down there until a little bit later, around 10:30, 11 o'clock. We gaveled in at 10 a.m., which is a usual. And, you know, things didn't really speed up until about 6 p.m., 6 to 8 p.m. is when things really started speeding up. We did not get out of there until the last week adjourned Sine Die at 12:40 p.m. Excuse me, 12:40 a.m. So it was actually the next day. Usually we try to stop at midnight, but they stopped a little bit after midnight. And that's not unusual. It's happened before. Really big issues were covered this year. A lot of controversial issues. Too much to fully cover in 5 to 8 minutes. but I'll go through a few things. So one of the most important things for our Georgia legislature is to pass the fiscal year budget. So this 2025 fiscal year budget clocked in at $36.1 billion of spending that will be done in the state of Georgia this year. And that money goes to the different agencies and a lot of other different causes throughout the state. Let's see, the fiscal budget starts July 1st of every year. And so that's when that new monies will go into effect. And of course, we ended on March 28th, but the governor has 40 days to sign or veto any bill that he chooses. And that also, well, he's already a lot of times important bills, he signed them right after they come out of the passing chamber. So the budget had been signed that day. So the budget's packed with raises for teachers, law enforcement, and other state employees, as well as has some transportation, healthcare, prison, and economic development projects that'll receive some state funding in that budget for 2025. Also, another agenda item that we did was to do a little bit of an increase to the budget for 2024, which happened earlier this session, like back in February, where they gave us a little bit more money to be able to operate certain agencies this year. Some of them had ran out of funding. Senate Bill 390, that's a higher education committee bill. That was put on the shelf. This bill would have cut ties with the American Library Association. That was a big hot item where they were just trying to, you know, take our libraries and school libraries out of the association because they were encouraging some books that a lot of our more conservative members did not agree with for children. So that did not happen this year. Senate Resolution 579 and Senate Bill 386, both were bills to legalize sports betting. The resolution was a constitutional amendment, which would have required a larger vote, and it also would have went on the citizen ballot. But both of those did not make it out. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure they will be back, but neither of the bills made it to the House floor. One of them never even made it out of committee. I think the Senate Resolution 579 was in Higher Education Committee. School choice picked up a win, House Bill 1122. It gives additional funding for charter schools and the State Department of Education to do some other things and help with the Literacy Act that they have for our children. House Bill 1170, that is a bill that got shelved as well. It did not make it on the House floor. That was basically a bill that would ban doctors from prescribing puberty blockers for transgender minors. That was a very controversial bill, got a lot of news coverage. I'm sure everybody's seen it. House Bill 1104.
Jen, are you still there? All right. Did we lose Deanna?
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here. Somebody put me on mute. Sorry. The illegal immigration bill went through a lot of changes, but that is on the governor's desk to be signed coming up soon, which just basically mandates law enforcement when they do arrest someone who has broken the law and they are not a United States citizen, they have to report it to Customs and ICE, which is federal government of law. Then we have
10,000, 10,000, 15,000. These are me working with all these different labs and buying all these different expensive.
All right. Okay.
So, there were several just controversial.
I spent a lot of money
that occurred, and not many that were, I'll say, profitable to businesses or small businesses. for Georgians, and especially for Black Americans. But this is an election year. Our first election was the presidential preference primary, which happened back in February, early March. So that date was March 12th. If you didn't get out and vote that time, you'll have an opportunity again to go and vote in the regular state preference primary, which is May 21st. And I believe that early voting begins the last week of April. So we generally get about 3 weeks of early voting in Georgia, and the election date is May 21st. So please be aware that most of your legislature and your county individuals, so your sheriff, your county commission, your state representatives, state senators, they are all on the ballot this year. And a lot of them have primary opponents. So you might want to participate this year. I know I've heard that Clayton County last election cycle for the presidential election was missing 90,000 voters. 90,000 people who are registered to vote didn't show up. And so that's a huge number. And I guess if you are down there, they have a really big race with the sheriff. And we do too out here in Cobb. So really important to participate, register to vote online if you haven't already, and make sure you lock that date in. And then, of course, then you move on to the November election, which is quite some time away, but you got to get started with that one in May 21st, which is very, very soon.
All right. Well, thank you, Deanna, for that legislative recap of the state legislative session and some of those key bills, particularly around school choice, around sports betting. Thanks for those updates, and definitely thank you for those dates of those elections that are coming up. Sometimes when you think about those elections, you may forget about some of those local and those state elections because we have to definitely participate more in those elections. So anything else as we close you out, Deanna?
That's all I have. Again, like I said, we didn't get a lot done. Maybe I forgot to mention that they did try to do some property tax relief, which is pretty huge. And we also did a small step. So House Bill 1019 increases homestead exemption from 2,000 to 4,000. So that's pretty huge.
Yes.
And HB 581 caps on how much home assessments can go up each year based on the rate of inflation, which I know, especially people that live in Fulton County, has been like a super sticker shock. I'm a homeowner in Cobb County, so it's been pretty tough on us as well. So those are some of the things that affect your everyday life that we really need to look into. But again, other than that, like, they didn't get a lot accomplished this year because it is an election year. So this is the time for people to, go real hard on those super far left or super far right pieces of legislation that really don't go anywhere. They're just talking points, because a lot of folks, again, had primary opponents. And, also there are many people that are retiring, like our House Minority Leader, James Beverly, did not qualify to run for office again. The Senate Minority Leader, Gloria Butler, is retiring after, I believe, 23 years of service. So a lot of our minority party leaders are stepping down. So it's giving some time for some young folks to come in and step up and take a lead and figure it out. I think it could be good or it could not, but we'll have to see and wait till next year.
Yeah, Deanna, I was definitely surprised about, not so surprised, but that announcement with Representative Beverly, who has been a good friend of the chamber over the past many, many years. So he definitely will be missed in that state house, just like the dean.
Let's not forget, but Billy Mitchell as well. He has stepped down from chairman of the Minority Caucus.
Yes, you remember hearing that. And then it actually put it out there too, the chamber members, Black business owners, please let us know if you have aspirations of running for elected office. Please let us know. Email us at info@advancingblackbiz.org, info@advancingbiz.org. Thank you, Deanna, so much. The time is 8:50. 8:50. We got about 10 minutes. Deanna, again, thank you for that update. Before we go into the comments, I do want to say we do have the Raquel. I know we talked about showing that survey, but I did see where you put that in the chat. But I do want to go over that on next week. Next week, we have just over 100 responses. So we're close to the 9 o'clock hour. I don't have enough time to really go through that with everyone, but I want to go through that survey on next week. And I did a couple of weeks ago, I did talk about having another guest speaker, former Mayor Willie Burns. The Georgia Conference of Black Mayors Executive Director will be on soon. We want to talk to him about what's going on with the organization. We're going to talk about those almost 80 cities with Black mayors. We want to talk about really contracting. We really want to walk you through the doors of those city halls and talk about getting contracts with some of those cities. We know one of the best cities in the land, the city of Atlanta, is leading the way nationwide in contracting when it comes to our businesses being awarded those contracts. They had a very, very high level. The city of Atlanta was definitely sitting well above 32, 33% of minority participation is what it's called. We're very, very proud of our city being the leader around this nation when it comes to contracting and opportunities for our Black business owners. So do want to open it up also. So please raise your hand if you have any questions, you have any comments, have any questions for Deanna about the state legislative session, have any questions about the upcoming elections, have any questions about contract, or even comments. We can't talk about everything within 30 minutes, but if you have some comments, please spend less than 45 seconds, And I see board member Sylvester Ford. Please give us your comment or question in less than 45 seconds.
Yes, I just wanted to ask Deanna, the Senate bill that Senator Halburn brought to the table that she got passed in the Senate, did it pass the House as far as tax credits in HBCU cluster areas?
That did.
All
So
right.
that should become law by the governor?
That should be signed by the governor. If he doesn't veto it, if he doesn't sign it, it still becomes law. As long as he doesn't veto it, we're good to go.
And will that bring opportunities for contracting opportunities and also other business opportunities for our membership?
Well, see, I don't know if it does that, but to me, in my mind, the way the language is written, it gives it more of like a improvement district setup.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for that great, good question, Sylvester. That's one of the bills that we have been monitoring. The Senator Halpern has been definitely a good friend of the Georgia Coalition of Black Chambers, which I see some of the presidents are on. Thank you for your support. Has been a good friend of the Georgia Coalition. She was there for our installation of our officers a couple of years ago, and so definitely some shouts out for that bill around HBCUs, developing an economic, I call engine around the HBCUs in the state of Georgia. Any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments from anyone? Any hands raised out there? If you, Raquel, I don't see any hand raised right now, but hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I have to pull up these glasses from time to time to look.
No,
Go
we're
ahead.
good. There's no hands raised at the moment.
All right,
This is
y'all.
Montina. I'd like to speak, but I'm driving, so I couldn't raise my hand.
All right, Montina, what's going on? Drive safe, please.
I'm hands free, but we're glad you're back. Sorry to hear about your loss, but I just wanted to say, as it relates to us, I have a contract that's starting with Henry County with the purchasing department and some of the workshops that I do. But I want to encourage you all to bid. One of the challenges that we are running into is we kind of, I hate to say complain about the opportunities, but we don't have enough bids. So if you see an opportunity, if maybe you just feel like, hey, I don't really understand, take the time to bid on the opportunity. So that's just what I want to leave you all with today. And I do something every Tuesday at 2 p.m. called Connecting the Dots in the Great State of Georgia. and I try to just, walk people through the bidding processes, working with the different counties. But, typically if it's out on procurement on the Georgia Procurement Registry, it's over 100,000. So we need more of us to bid.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Montina. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
We have Montina scheduled to speak on April the 25th. I'll be confirming that with you soon. Montina, thank you for that great comment.
She also put in the chat that she is interested in running for office.
All right. Montina. All right, great. Definitely we got to talk about that.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Anybody else? All right, gotcha. Thanks a lot. Drive safe. Anybody else interested in running for office? If you please email us. You may not want to say it up front, but just please email us and let us know. We want to definitely take record of that so we can actually look at some opportunities out there. Definitely look at some opportunities out there. All right, y'all. The time is 8:56. 8:56. This has definitely been a good time for me to come back. I'm back. I'm in the saddle. Got back in late last night.
Marquis,
Go ahead.
I want to apologize to Sylvester. Senator Halpern's bill for HBCU's economic development, it passed out of the Senate that night, but it did not get a vote on the House floor. So she will have to bring that back next legislative biennial.
All right. Thanks for checking that. We definitely want to have accurate information on public policy talks. So thanks for making that correction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dion.
Marquis, I want to address who was she? Deborah. Send me an email, Deborah. Just info@atlantablackchambers.org. info@atlantablackchambers. Don't forget the s.org, and I'll do an email intro for you with Montina. All right, that was with Deborah.
All right. Thanks, Melvin, for seeing that. And thanks so much, Melvin, for holding the fort up the last couple of weeks. Really appreciate your support with Advancing Black Businesses and Advancing Black Business Foundation, our leader of the ABC, Melvin Coleman. Thanks a lot. All right, y'all. This has been a good morning. Thanks a lot. The time is 8:57. If there's not anything else, thanks for joining us on Thursday's Public Policy Talks presented by Advancing Black Businesses. Y'all have a great and prosperous rest of the day, Thursday, Friday, and a great weekend. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a great one.
All right, everyone.
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of the Thursday. I'll see y'all out there, all these chamber members. Thank y'all for the support.
Welcome back.
Happy 404 Day.
Yeah. How are you?
Great. Good to see you.
All right. Good seeing you. All right.
Welcome back, Marquis.
Thank you, James. Really appreciate it, man. All right. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. We're about to head out of here into the next meeting. All right, Shirley. See you.